Good day and welcome to a Monday afternoon segment of A Week at the Plot. And I've just harvested from this courgette a small courgette. You can see others are developing on that one and those. Maybe this is a good one to show you that anything that is sort of bulbous behind the flower is female, and anything that isn't bulbous behind the flower is a male flower. So we've got female flowers and male flowers. I sort of didn't expect the one here to grow because I couldn't see any male flowers out, but then I found one on another plant. So I thought, oh yeah, maybe it will, and it has. But I'm just taking it off because yeah, they're still quite young plants in many ways. Interestingly, this one is going to be a green courgette, where all the others are yellow courgettes, all from the same yellow courgette packet, but one of them has reverted clearly. The plot is looking a tad tired. We did have heavy rain, which has got the nettles here going and the couch grass going and the bindweed going. So I really do need to come down and trim paths, which after another dry day, which I think today is going to be, I will do. Everything that has gone in, including the courgettes, has had a feed. I give everything a bit of a feed on a Monday or a Tuesday, depending upon which is the first day I'm down. But I have to say, these squash, I know most of them have been between broad beans. And we took the broad beans out and I thought, come on you squash. And actually, a lot of them are yellowing, and I don't really understand that, because these beds here and with our courgettes here, not courgettes, cucumbers here, I mean, there's not a lot of nutrients in this bed, I have to say, so I give that a feed twice a week. But these beds have had plenty of chicken manure pellets on them over the years, I mean each year in fact. And when I look at those beetroot there, they're looking pretty good in this bed. But I do remember in this bed, when we put those broad beans in, which looked great when they went in, they yellowed quite a bit as well. But then they picked up after a time. I'm just hoping that these squash are going to, because they haven't grown significantly since I put them in. And one of them here, sorry about that, has died. I'm going to do a soil test on here. I can't test to see if there's any weed killer in there, because this was from horse stables many years ago, but if there was weed killer in there, it should have died off by now. But yeah, I don't quite get it. I don't quite get it. And then, you know, these courgettes are in ground that has been covered for years and years and years, and I thought it was going to be pretty depleted in any nutrients, but doesn't seem to be. All of our edge beds, the things that we've put into these this year, excuse me, are doing okay. I don't know, maybe the heat and the lack of water has affected them. Anyway, yes, I also took a cucumber from the inside cucumbers. That's our first harvest, so that's rather lovely. I think it's going to be a year for flowers this year though. So we've got the Lychnis here, feverfew here, we've got the grass that has the nice yellow flowers here, and then we've got the Santolina just about to jump into glory there. But yeah, maybe it's going to be a flower year rather than a veg year, which and of course we've got the lavenders which are about to jump out into flower as well. Anyway, but coming back over here, these tomatoes which have been in a week and a day now, I've just given them their first feed. We did have lots of rain Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. We had been forecast, I think, to have much more rain than we did, but we did have plenty of rain, so everything got a good watering over the weekend from water from the skies, as I say. Lots of weeding to do, which I'm going to crack on with now. But before I do, let me just show you one thing in the greenhouse and another in the poly. These are the Cheeky Prince seeds, squash seeds that we put in about 10 days ago, something like that. And one of them is not looking great, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have germinated so far. There were only 2 of these germinated on Saturday morning, plus actually the one that's looking a bit dodgy, so there were 3, and the others have grown since. And in fact, when I think about it, they've grown quite a bit since. That's only 2 days ago. No, it was 3 days ago. It was Friday late afternoon I was down here. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 have germinated and grown on since Friday evening, late afternoon rather. And these 2 at the front are really going for it now. Yeah, and they, as I've said before, will go into this bed. So I think they'll be quite happy in there. And we've got more cucumbers coming. You can see there. There's one there, and there's another on this one as well that I just harvested one from, so that's good. And I'm really keeping them well watered down here. I don't have a tray that these can go in, that this trough can fit in. And as I say that, I realise that I might. Yeah, I'll have a look for that once I finish filming. Let's pop into the poly. Our pricked out lettuces are doing okay here. Lollo Bionda at the back and our own save seed lettuce at the front. We sowed some more last week seeds. Dill, nothing there. Gloire Dauphine, nothing there. But just in the corner there of the Morton's mix from Real Seeds is some germination, which I'm really happy about. I did give these a water before and the compost has settled a bit, but I did see a bit of germination at the back there, but the watering has allowed the compost to settle over it a little, which will be fine. But hopefully when I come down tomorrow and over the coming days, there'll be a few more that are germinating. Yay! And as I talk, the sun has come out. It's been a real grey day today, but they did say that at the end of the day there'd be sun, which is rather nice. Anyway, I'm going to get on with weeding, so I will see you very soon. Bye. Good day. We're at Kew Gardens in the rose garden. So many different types of roses here. Not sure if you can see over there. They're pruning. A lot of pruning needed at this time of year. There's 2 geese over there. There's 2 ladies going around going, oh, I love this one. Oh, I love this one. Oh, I love this one. Which is amusing. That vista down there will most probably go at some point. Not sure if you can see, but the pagoda is just visible in that gap, that slither of sky that sort of shoots down at the end there. People walking there, babies in prams, other people just sitting. Seen one lady doing Tai Chi, well, doing some type of Tai Chi like exercise. Richard's over there taking photographs. And the lady over there doing stretches now. You mostly can't see her. Oh, just getting up from my bench. It is rather lovely. Still quite a few to come out. I mean, I do remember coming here when I was about 11 or 12 with mum and dad, and gosh, I don't think I've ever seen the rose garden here look as good as it did then. Maybe I was just in awe at the whole place, as I remain now, almost 5 decades later. Anyway, we'll pick up on something a bit later. I'm not sure if the intensity of the orange is coming out in this one, but this is one of my favourites, and also named after one of my very, very favourite actresses, Dame Judi Dench. It's glorious, it really is. And on deadheading, somebody did ask me about deadheading. When you deadhead roses, I mean, these you can see are several coming on one. And you'll notice that all of these have got 3 leaves on them. And what you do, like has happened here, you can see that's been deadheaded there, hopefully. You cut them off as they die. But then when you get to the last one, what you do, if you come down here, you can see this is a 3 leaf, this one here is a 5 leaf, and you just prune to above this one, just prune to above the 5 leaf. Obviously, as I just said, prune like here. When they die, prune the single one off, but then when the whole thing has gone, prune down to the 5 leaf, the first 5 leaf. As I say, that's got 3 leaves, that's got 5 leaves, prune to just above there. Oh, this is a lovely one as well. What was this? Rushing stream. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyway, look, there's Richard waiting for me there. I better go. Now walking towards the kitchen garden and the Kew student gardens. And there's this colonnade of roses. But if we have a look here, this is an old rose, i.e. an old style rose, and most probably bred many decades ago. And you can see that there's so many bees here. Well, a lot of bees, they're active, and that's because this is a really open flower and it's got lots of stamen. You can see in the centre the stamen where the pollen is, and they're going after all the pollen, not surprisingly, to pollinate. Well, they're going after the pollen for food, we're going after it for them to pollinate the flowers. And then we come down here. I can actually hear the bees as I go underneath. We come down, and you know, over the years those stamen have been bred out to be petals, so there are less stamen but more petals. And this one here, where are the bees? Where are the bees? There are no bees. In fact, I think there are no bees here. And that's because, if we go close up, because I'm sort of, I can with this one, all of those petals have been bred from the stamens that produce pollen. So in most cases you'll find bees on flowers which have more stamen and less petals. Anyway, we're going to continue our journey that way. And here we're at Kew's kitchen garden, planting up beds has happened. Peppers, courgettes here, tomatoes, very much between flowers, and some flowers I think put in as a sort of deterrent, but also to make things look pretty. And of course it does. Oh, look at these calendula. It's like teddy bear calendula. Can't see the variety, and there's a pale yellow one. There's a bee enjoying that one, look. But yeah, lots been planted out. And of course I was just saying to Richard a short while ago, you know, it's not even the middle of June yet. Sometimes I sort of think, oh, things aren't growing very well, but you know, then I come down to Kew and look at their squash, and their squash are, well, it's cucumber. My cucumber are looking stronger and a bit better than that, and bigger than those. There was squash over there in that bed. Oh, what's this one here? Well, that one looks pretty good. Not sure what that is, but of course our courgettes are really beginning to produce now. Well, they've got squash here. I mean, that squash does have a flower, but their squash are really tiny. So, you know, even when you're big growers of things, sometimes things don't go to plan. They've mulched all the apple trees, you can see down there. Oh look, they've got a greenhouse now. Oh, they've got more squash over there. Small brassicas by the looks of it there. Wonder how this will look in 6 weeks. You know, the wonderful thing is you do have a whole load of information about what they're growing, you know, when they put them in, that type of thing. That bed's been well mulched. I assume this is for their cucumbers. It's like Vivi did. If you do it on a frame like this and plant them there, they can drop through, making them easier to harvest. Lots of different types of calendula. Oh, that greenhouse is lovely, isn't it? Cordoned off area. I think this is for schooling. Oh yeah, nice lettuce in fabulous coal frames. I mean, that's a great coal frame because that brick will really hold the heat. Look at those. Mind you, we're doing really well with lettuce this year. We harvest our lettuce leaf by leaf rather than the whole thing. Various peppers in there. Oh, their potatoes are looking fantastic. Look at that. Far better than ours. Carrots at various stages. That one obviously sown first, I would have thought. Then this one as a successional sowing. Then this one. Maybe they're going to do another one there. Who knows? Anyway, oh, look over here. Little geraniums. Not sure what these are, but a mixture of things by the looks of it. Pomegranate. Oh, lovely pomegranates. maybe some herbs and things. Oh yeah, look at those squash over there. Those squash look really pretty healthy. Anyway, what's in here? These look like a radishy thing. You know, yeah, radish. My bête noire. I never seem to be able to grow it. Maybe I'll give it another go. Brassicas in cages, and a cabbage white in there fluttering away. If it goes over there, it can get out actually. Yeah, let's look at this. I mean, gosh, isn't this amazing? Look at that bench. Wouldn't you like one of those at your garden, your growing space, or your allotment? We'll just leave it here with what these are. Squash, Marquis de Provence, jack-o'-lantern, black fatsu, which I love black fatsu, it just makes me smile. Baby bear, goosebumps, disco, Jack Be Little, pink banana, delicata, butternut hunter, uchiki curry, which is the one I'm growing this year, and trombuccino, which is the big long one. And then what's over here? Lots of squash. Autumn crown, gâteau dessin, pink porcelain, rouge vif de tempe, Hokkaido pink, crown prince pink, polar bear, mashed potato, couscous, batwing, and I saw another one. Oh yeah, crown prince, but not pink. And a mushroom bed over there. Oh yeah, look. Oh, so they're trying to grow mushrooms in beds and fungi on various bits of wood over there. Fascinating. But that's the thing with Kew. It's always fascinating. And there's Richard over there. So I'm going to say goodbye. Bit of a long one at Kew today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Roses and vegetables. What's not to enjoy? See you very soon. Bye. Good day. This is our orchard. Quite a few apples developing. It's a cider orchard. We've got a work social today, so I'm just sort of going through here looking at the work that needs to be done. We've got more wood chip that can go at the front here because it sort of steps down a good few inches before going into the orchard, and it'd be good to level it off. There's lots of brambles here, or quite a few young brambles that need to be cut back. This area, which is generally mown, needs to be mown. The paths need to be mown, and I think we need to put another path in either here or here. I think this is a more sensible place. Yeah, I think if we put another path in here, we've got the path that I'm standing on, put another one in there and go over to the left. So that needs to be done. And then there's an area through here. I think we're going to replace this with some of that steel that we got a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago in fact, because as you can see it's rotting there. And this is an area again that we're beginning to infill. It was a drainage ditch many years ago, but when new drainage was put in, it became redundant. And that's the River Brent there, you can see. Yeah, so various areas here, and I can see someone has just dumped stuff there rather than putting it into the dead hedge. You know, this is what happens. You give facilities for people to do things and they don't use them properly. Anyway, yes, we're going to be infilling this area with wood chip as well. Sorry, I'm rather spinning round there. There's the river, and then this goes around the boundary. I have to be careful here. It's not a well-trodden area, this one. This is the boundary of the site. Look at that lovely grass hanging in the middle there. We're going to go through that. And this is the current drainage area that I think you've all seen before. This is where new pipes were put in. That leads up to our wildlife area. It's all a bit bleached out, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, someone was asking about our willow. Well, the corkscrew bit, the train bit that was, what do you call it, overhanging? No, oh, anyway, going down, you know, that has died off, but there is some new willow coming up from further down. I mean, that is rather sort of nicely structural, but I think we're going to have to cut that down at some point so that this willow that is growing from the base here has a chance to do what it wants to do. Yeah, anyway, back to thinking about jobs for this morning. This is our sort of front fence line. Needs a good weed, but in particular what it needs is sycamore pulling out. We have enough sycamores around already here, and then one in the middle there, and we certainly don't want any along this fence line. We put in some hedging several years ago, and various wildflowers have grown too, but yeah, sycamores need to go. Just need to make sure that people know what a sycamore sapling is. It's now 4 in the afternoon, and as you can see, this area is looking an awful lot tidier. You can clearly see here plants, lungwort and calendula that have gone in, and a few other things. A few stinging nettles left there as well, which is fine, but really well weeded, which is great. Really good news. It's great to get these jobs ticked off the list. We got quite a few jobs ticked off the list this morning. Now at the orchard, and brambles have been cut back, and a whole load of wood chip has been laid here to break down and level off this area bit by bit, which is grand. Didn't make much inroad here, but I think we're going to, I was thinking this morning about cutting another path through. I think we might mow this area, because I think we need to do some more tree work, some summer tree work, and it's going to be easier to do this if this is mown. So maybe that will be a job for me this week. Just looking at the courgettes, and there's a couple more small ones to take. They're beginning to gain ground now and really sort of go for it. And I'll also be, look here, oh, can you see that? Taking side shoots off tomatoes. There's a second leader there, which I don't want. That can come out. So I'll be looking through each of these. I can see there's the main one there, but there's another one there. Not sure if you can see that. That's coming out. Most of these are indeterminate, so they're not bush forming. They will grow high rather than bushy. Anyway, and look at this. This is rather gorgeous. No, we're on the wrong side of that, but you see how fabulous that is. Lovely, lovely. You might not be able to see with the sun, but I was just thinking, oh, there's no beans up, and then I've just noticed that our rocken core is up. You can most probably see this one here, and then there's a whole line going up there, which I'm really pleased about. So the rocken core's germinated. Nothing yet in the flat yellow French or the borlotti, which is this side. I was so pleased to see those beans had germinated, the rocken core. That is really great. And I've had a look at the lettuce that we looked at earlier in the week, the Morton secret mix. That is doing quite fine. I brought it out today, let it sit out in the sunshine as it is at the moment, and I'll pop it back in the poly a bit later. I think we'll be pricking that out into modules next week. The modules that we pricked lettuce out into last week is doing pretty well. They're all doing fine. And the parsley that I split from a store-bought one, that's not doing quite so well. Some of those have died back, but you know, hey ho. The other parsley that we put in with the rocket and with the other lettuce and the dill in that bed in front of me, they're all doing fine. Though I have noticed that I think the rocket is being pecked by some pigeons. That seems to be the thing this year. Pigeons going really quite heavily after brassicas at a time of year that they do not normally on this site. But yeah, there's various people saying, gosh, we're getting an awful lot of pigeon damage. So maybe we need to net. Somebody did suggest about netting. As I say, don't normally at this time of year because we've never needed to before. So hey ho. I've got another cucumber to harvest. I'll be doing that before I go home as well. So yeah, there's quite a few things going on. And I was really pleased with this morning's work social. I always have a priority list of things to do that I want to get done, and then I have a secondary list which is things I'd like to get done if we have enough people turning up to do them. And the priority list was all done. The secondary list, none of that was done, but that's fine. I can do that with other people and give other people specific jobs to do that I know didn't come this morning. There are several people who always say to me, look, I can't make the work social, but if you give me a task to do, I'll do it in the next week or so. So I have a few of those to hand out, including the orchard area, the mowing there. So we will get that done. But yeah, the people that came down, got on and did the jobs that they're happy doing. I mean, the thing is, after me being on this site quite a while, I would say so long, but there's other people who've been here like 4 or 5 decades almost, 4 decades certainly, 5 decades almost. My 7 or 8 years here doesn't feel too sort of long, if you see what I mean. But anyway, having been chair for quite a while and having been here for quite a while, I know the jobs that people like to do. I've seen them come to lots of work socials, see the jobs that they like doing, and the people that like weeding and planting, I set them to on the front hedgerow there by the fence line. People who might be younger and are quite happy to do different things, they were doing the barrowing of the wood chip down, that type of thing. A lady who's actually one of our neighbours, she's the neighbour at the back of our eucalyptus. She's got a plot here. She's got a young son as well. She came down with the young son this morning. So between us, we looked into the common law shed, tidied that up, went through all of the tools that are in there, decided which ones need sharpening, which ones are no longer fit for purpose. Those have been taken away, and I'll look at those next week or the week after. And then all the other tools that we have that are fit for purpose have been tidied up. I don't think it will remain this tidy for very long, but at least it's tidy now. We do ask our plotters here that if they borrow something and it breaks, they do let us know. That doesn't always happen. Generally the tool isn't put back, it is put to one side, and I come into the communal shed and I say, oh, there's a broken tool, or there's a tool that has something wrong that needs to be mended. So yeah, you know, a whole host of things that need to be done in the coming weeks, which some of them I will do, like the tools. Other things will be parted out to other people. But yeah, we're generally lucky here in the amount of people who turn up to work socials, and that was certainly the case this morning. And we finished a little bit earlier than our 1 o'clock. I think we finished about 12:10. So it was tea, coffee, biscuits. The person who usually makes cakes, she's away at the moment. So looking forward to her return, because her cakes are always wonderful. Anyway, whatever you have going on in your garden, your growing space, or your allotment, I hope that you are getting joy from it, and I hope things are growing well. Or if they're not growing well, you're making plans of what else can go in their places. This weekend I'm certainly going to be looking at what further seeds I want to sow and what else I want to get growing for this year and also for next year, like brassicas maybe again. Our brassicas aren't doing too well. Anyway, talk about that another time. See you very soon. Any comments, any questions, any suggestions, please do put them down below. Happy growing. Bye.